The Senate will come to order. Mr. Carpenter, would you please take the roll?
Senators Aguilar, Baumgardner, Cook, Coram, Court, Crowder, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Garcia, Gardner, Guzman, Hill, Holbert, John, Jones, Kagan, Gafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble,
Absent.
Martinez Humenick, Merrifield, Moreno, Neville,
Absent.
Neville, Priola, Scott, Smallwood, Tate, Todd, Williams, Zinzinger, President Grantham,
Excused. Yeah. We'll add her if she gets here, when she gets here.
Mr. President,
I am here with 33 present, 1 absent, 1 excused. We indeed have a quorum. Senator Kagan, would you please lead us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the journal. Senator Coram.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, February 7, 2018 be dispensed with and that the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
Are there any, you have heard the motion, are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. Committee reports.
February 7th, 2018, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 86 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. February 7th, 2018, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 29 be postponed indefinitely. February 7th, 2018, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 91 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee to hold. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7th, 2018, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 92 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee to hold. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7, 2018, Committee on Judiciary, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 119 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. February 7, 2018, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 90 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee to hold. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7, 2018, Committee on Judiciary, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 94 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee to hold. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7, 2018, Committee on Judiciary, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 95 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee to hold. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7, 2018, Committee on Judiciary, after consideration of Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 96 be amended as follows as submitted. Be referred to Committee to hold. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar.
Senate Services.
Correctly engrossed, Senate Bill 2 and 9. Senate Joint Memorial 3, correctly re-engrossed, Senate Bill 73 and 93.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege.
Oh, okay. Motion for the body is for the Senate please add the president to the roll? And Senator Marble. There we go. Motion for the body is to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege. Senator Todd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. And I do ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. The Colorado Senate convened on the second regular session of the 71st General Assembly hereby extends heartiest congratulations and commendation to Advancement via Individual Determination. AVID is what it is normally known as. AVID Advancement via Individual Determination is a college readiness program that provides proven real-world strategies to accelerate the performance of underrepresented students so that these students and all students across the entire campus can succeed in college, their careers, and their lives. In 2017, AVID trained over 39,000 educators at their summer institute and trained even more at other professional learning venues. In Colorado, AVID is active in 123 schools and 24 school districts. AVID impacts over 1.5 million students in 46 states and 16 other countries and territories. The members of the Colorado State Senate welcome AVID to the state capitol. Thank you for your extraordinary work and the dedication you have for this work with students and the future of Colorado's youth. On request of Senator Nancy Todd, given the 8th day of February 2018, State Capitol, Denver, Colorado, Kevin J. Grantham, President of the Senate. Please join me in welcoming our AVID students and teachers that are with us here from all over the state, and take time to find out a little bit more about what this outstanding program does to help students be successful in school and in life. So thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, colleagues. Welcome.
Committee reports.
February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration, Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 5 be amended as follows as submitted before Committee of the Whole. The favorable recommendation. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration, Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 43 be referred to Committee of the Whole. The favorable recommendation. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration, Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 57 be postponed indefinitely. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration, Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 75 be postponed indefinitely. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 110 be referred to Committee of the Whole. The favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 111 be referred to Committee of the Whole. The favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 113 be postponed indefinitely. February 7th, 2018, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 121 be referred to Committee of the Whole. A favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar.
Third reading of bills. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 2?
Senate Bill 2 by Senators Quorum and Sonnenberg and Representatives Becker, Kay, and Duran concerning the financing of broadband deployment.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. We may move Senate Bill 2 on third reading and final passage, and just state that our result of our vote yesterday was not the cause of the internet interruption. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 2? Motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 2. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Smallwood, Senator Lambert, With 32, Senator Lundberg is a no vote. Majority Leader Holbert, no vote. No votes on Senate Bill 2. With 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 2 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Leader Guzman, Senator Kafalis, Senator Priola, Senator Fenberg, Senator Scott, Senator Gardner, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Crowder, Senator Court, Senator John, Senator Merrifield, Senator Todd, Senator Williams, Senator Aguilar, Senator Donovan, Senator Kagan, Senator Moreno, Senator Garcia, Senator Kerr. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title of Senate Bill 9.
Senate Bill 9 by Senators Finberg and Priola and Representative Winter concerning the right of consumers of electricity to interconnect energy storage systems for use on their property.
Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 9 on third reading and final passage. Representative Winter is the House sponsor.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 9? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 9. Are there any no votes? Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Baumgardner. With 33, Majority Leader Holbert, Senator Smallwood, Senator Gardner, with 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 9 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Leader Guzman, Senator John, Senator Merrifield, Senator Todd, Senator Williams, Senator Aguilar, Senator Moreno, Senator Kagan, Senator Fields, Senator Jones, Senator Donovan, Senator Garcia, Senator Kafalis, Senator Court, Senator Kerr, Senator Fenberg Marble, Senator Crowder, Senator Hill, Senator Lambert, Senator Tate. Excuse me, my apologies, Senator Marble Fenberg. Please add the president. General orders. General order, second reading of bills. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of General Order, second reading of bills consent calendar.
Motion before the body is for the Senate to resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the General Order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the General Order, second reading of bills consent calendar. Senator Smallwood will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of all the bills on the General Order, second reading of bills consent calendar?
Senate Bill 122 by Senator Martinez-Humenick and Representative McKean concerning clarifying that certain deputy sheriffs may serve without obtaining certification from the Peace Officer Standard and Training Board. Senate Bill 135 by Senator Gardner Concerning updates to the Colorado Code of Military Justice, Senate Bill 87 by Senator Finberg concerning in-state tuition and institutions of higher education for certain foreign nationals legally settled in Colorado. Senate Bill 126 by Senators Grantham and Guzman and Representatives Pabon Van Winkle concerning the definition of a traditional large and premium cigar for purposes of the excise tax on tobacco products. Senate Bill 124 by Senator Hill and Representative Pabon concerning the removal of the 30-day waiting period related to the sale of imported alcohol beverages.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, there is an error on the calendar. If you have your calendar with you, if you would please take a look at it. Before I move the bills on the consent calendar, I wanted to call your attention to this error. The first bill listed on the consent calendar is SB 112, and that is not the bill that we should have here. As a dyslexic myself, I understand these mistakes. It should be Senate Bill 122 rather than 112. Senate Bill 112 is still in committee. So we will not do it anyway. So I think the easiest way to do this is I will take Senate Bill 112 off of the consent calendar, because it shouldn't be there, and anyone can request for any bill to be removed from the consent calendar. Senate Bill 112 will be removed from the consent calendar. Mr. Chairman, I move the remaining bills on the general order's second reading of bills consent calendar, Senate Bill 135, 87, 126, and 124. There are no committee reports.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the general order's second reading of bills consent calendars. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills on the consent calendar are adopted. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And as a technicality, though it is not on your calendar, I move to lay over Senate Bill 122 to tomorrow to remain on the second reading of bills consent calendar.
The motion is to lay over Senate Bill, Majority Leader Holbert, The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 122. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Senate Bill 122 will lay over. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
Motion is for the body to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
Senate will come back to order. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report is out on consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 135, Senate Bill 87, Senate Bill 126, Senate Bill 124 passed in second read order and gross and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 122 laid over until 2/9/18 and retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Motion before the body is the adoption of the report to the committee of the whole. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 135, Senate Bill 87, Senate Bill 126, Senate Bill 124 passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 122 laid over until 2/9/18 and retaining its place on the calendar. General Order, second reading of bills. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills calendar.
Motion before the body is for the Senate to resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of the general order, second reading of bills calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of the general order, second reading of bills calendar, and Senator Smallwood will take the chair.
Committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 82?
Senate Bill 82 by Senator Zenzinger and Representative Kennedy concerning a physician's right to provide continuing care to patients with rare disorders despite a covenant not to compete.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 82.
To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this bill was an issue that was brought forward to me by a constituent. What it does is it exempts physicians who are treating patients with rare diseases or rare disorders from the covenant not to compete. Oftentimes, when a physician leaves a group practice, they actually could be compelled to pay damages if he or she even informs the patient that they are leaving and where they are going. What this bill does is it says that in many cases, these physicians who are treating patients with rare disorders are the only doctor in the state that even deal with these kinds of issues, that even treat these kinds of patients. And if they're going to leave the practice and leave their patient behind, they have an obligation ethically to have a good conversation with the family and let them know where they're going and that they are leaving the practice. We have a set of ethical guidelines that physicians are given when they depart a medical practice. And in those guidelines, what they state is that physicians should treat this turnover when they leave their practice with a minimum disruption in the continuity and the quality of medical care that's being provided to the patient. And we believe that that's what this bill enables. So I would ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 82. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 82 passes. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 104?
Senate Bill 104 by Senator Donovan, concerning a requirement that the Broadband Deployment Board file a petition with the Federal Communications Commission to seek a waiver from the Commission's rules prohibiting a state entity from applying for certain federal money earmarked for financing broadband deployment in remote areas of the nation.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move SB 18104 and the accompanying Business, Labor, and Technology report.
To the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report, Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We did amend this bill in committee to just clarify that if upon the first petition is not approved, an additional petition will not be filed. So we get one shot at this.
Is there any discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, Senator Donovan. Oh, I'm sorry, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee report is adopted. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, I bring to you Senate Bill 104. When you were diligently preparing for the floor today, I'm sure you read this bill and thought to yourself, this looks very similar to a bill we voted on a couple weeks ago. It is very similar to a bill you voted on a couple weeks ago, but I will point to the critical difference, and that is on page 4, line 22. We voted a bill unanimously off the floor that the JBC carried that asked the state to apply for Connect America Funds 2 to work on rural broadband deployment, an issue that's been a hot topic in this room. This bill looks at a different fund, and that's the line I pointed to you, the Remote Areas Fund. The Remote Areas Fund is a fund within the larger Connect America Fund 2 auction. You may have also heard this called CAF. This is what's building out some connections to homes throughout our state right now, and it's federal dollars. What I am asking for in this bill is for the state to apply for a waiver for a year from now to go after funds that will be in this Remote Areas Fund. The current administration and the FCC have committed to putting $100 million into this fund, and it will focus on extremely high-cost areas, is the specific language used. Extremely high-cost areas and deploy rural broadband. I will not try to oversell this to get your support on this. We're not sure what level of funding will be there in a year, but as an ally of mine said in the hallway, you get 0% of zero of what you don't apply for. So this sets the state up to be in a position to go after these funds, to add more assets into our goal of wiring the state. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And looking at this bill and the need for funds in rural Colorado, I think this is a great bill. Doing some research, New York applied for this and actually got, I think, $170 million. So if we could get just a fraction of that, it would be a huge boost in getting broadband in every home. So ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 104. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 104 passes. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
Motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
Senate will come back to order. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your committees met and had 2 bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee holds lead reports had on consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof makes the following recommendations are on Senate Bill 82, Senate Bill 104 is amended, pass the second read, order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Motion before the body is the adoption of the report to the committee of the whole. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 82, Senate Bill 104 is amended, passed on second reading, and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Is that it? Announcements. Senator Martinez-Humenick.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, today is the Cancer Caucus, and it is from 12 to 1:15, and it's going to be in Senate Committee Room 354, and lunch will be provided for the legislators. So please come and learn. We have a lot of great speakers that come and talk about different forms and types of cancers, as well as the new innovative medications and procedures that they're using for cancer treatment.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I hope you can make some time in the morning to swing by the old Supreme Court chambers and visit with the Board of Trustees and the president from Western State Colorado University. This is my fantastic university that exists down in Gunnison, Colorado. They make an annual trip up here to make sure that they're available for you guys to answer any questions that you have about their programs. They're doing some pretty innovative stuff down there that is very authentically education you could only receive in Colorado. So I encourage you to join us. They will be there from 8 to 9:30, so come get your caffeine. Thank you.
Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. And your last reminder that tomorrow is Winter Bike to Work Day. And I encourage all of my colleagues and everyone else that works here at the Capitol to ride their bikes tomorrow. I just checked the weather. It is going to be above freezing at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that's balmy for us winter riders. I know the minority leader has already pledged to ride her bike in tomorrow. So challenge all of you to take part in Winter Bike to Work Day tomorrow. Thank you.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have some special guests on the floor. Some folks from the Colorado Community Health Network that operate our community health centers. They're sitting right over here. If you'll stand and just allow us to welcome you to the chamber, please.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we will not have bills to read over later today, so we will adjourn. Mr. President, I move the Senate adjourn until 9 a.m. Friday, February 9th, 2018.
Motion is to adjourn until 9 a.m. February 9th. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will be adjourned.